You know, there's this hidden force that connects two worlds you would never, ever think to put together. The world of high finance and the high-stakes precision of a pharmacy lab. It's a principle so powerful it can literally build a secret fortune from a janitor's salary and, at the same time, make sure a life-saving drug is perfectly safe. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the hidden power of compounding.
So picture this. On one hand, you've got an $8 million fortune, patiently built by a man who most people just saw in overalls. And on the other hand, a one-of-a-kind medicine created with microscopic precision for just one person. I mean, they seem like they're from different planets, right? But what if I told you they share the exact same blueprint for success? So what is this hidden force? What's the secret sauce? Well, it's a fundamental way of building something extraordinary. It doesn't matter if it's massive, like a fortune, or microscopically perfect, like a drug. It's all about starting with the smallest possible parts and repeating a simple action over and over and over again.
All right, so let's meet our two main characters in this story, the janitor and the pharmacist. Their stories are going to show us how this powerful idea, this process of building up through small, consistent steps, shapes our world in ways we almost never see. First up, let's dive into the world of finance. And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around this is to think about rolling a small snowball down a really, really long hill. At first, it's tiny, right? But with every single turn, it picks up more snow, getting bigger and bigger, faster and faster.
And this isn't just some fairy tale. This is the true story of Ronald Reed. He was a humble janitor from Vermont who, completely in secret, built a multi-million-dollar fortune. His method was so simple it's almost boring. He invested his small savings into solid, dependable stocks. But here's the absolute key. Every time those stocks paid him a dividend, he didn't spend it. He immediately reinvested it, year after year, for decades.
The engine behind his incredible success is something called compound interest. See, it's not just about earning a return on your original money. It's about earning a return on your returns. Every dollar you make becomes a new little worker that you send out to earn even more money for you. That right there is the math behind the snowball effect.
So, let's run some real numbers on this. Let's say you invest just $400 a month. After 10 years, assuming you get a pretty standard historical return, you'd have over $88,000. Not bad at all. That's a great start. But trust me, the real magic hasn't even kicked in yet. Now, let's fast forward another decade. After 20 years of doing the exact same thing, that $400 a month has snowballed into over $300,000. Now pay attention here. It didn't just double. It more than tripled the 10-year amount. The growth itself is speeding up.
Okay, now for the grand finale. This is where you really see the mind-bending power of time. After 30 years, you're looking at over $850,000. And get this, more than $500,000 of that, over $500,000, was made in just the last 10 years. Your snowball has just become an avalanche.
It's really no wonder that Albert Einstein himself supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Its power is quiet, it's mathematical, but boy, is it relentless when you just give it enough time to work.
Okay, deep breath. We're going to make a hard pivot now. Let's step out of the stock market and walk into the sterile, quiet world of a pharmacy lab. Because here, the word compounding takes on a totally different, but you'll see, an equally powerful meaning. It's all about building a perfect, life-saving medication, one precise little step at a time. So pharmaceutical compounding is basically the art and science of creating a custom drug for one specific patient. We are not talking about mass production here. This is for someone who, say, might be allergic to a dye in a commercial pill, or maybe for a child who needs a liquid version of a drug that only comes in giant adult tablets. It's all about personalization.
At the heart of any medicine is something called the active pharmaceutical ingredient, or API. This is the stuff that actually does the work, the powerhouse molecule. And it can be incredibly potent, so getting the dose exactly right isn't just important, it is literally a matter of life and death.
So how on earth do you make sure a tiny pinch of a powerful drug is perfectly mixed into a big batch of filler? Well, you use this brilliant technique called geometric dilution. It's like a recipe. First, you mix that tiny bit of drug with an equal amount of filler. Then, you take that new mixture and combine it with another equal amount of filler. You just keep repeating this process step by step, which guarantees a perfect, uniform distribution. It is compounding in its absolute purest form.
Now here's something really interesting. In both of these worlds, there is a common enemy. There are these invisible forces that are silently working to undermine all of your progress. In finance, we call it drag.
In pharmacy, we call it decay.
Financial drag is basically anything that slows down your compounding snowball. And what's the biggest culprit? Oh yeah, taxes. Every single time you pay taxes on your investment gains, you're basically scraping a little bit of snow off your snowball that reduces the base that can grow for you next year.
So how do you fight back? How do you protect your snowball from this drag? Well, use special tools, accounts like 401ks and IRAs. You can think of them as shields that protect your money, letting it compound away in a tax-sheltered environment and just maximizing the power of that engine.
Now, back in the pharmacy, the enemy is decay, both chemical and microbial. A custom-made medicine doesn't have a regular expiration date from a manufacturer. Instead, it gets what's called a beyond use date, or BUD. And this is a scientifically determined deadline to make sure that drug stays both potent and, more importantly, safe.
And the rules for buds are incredibly strict, all laid out in official guidelines. Now, the key factor to notice here, it's water. See how the water-based oral medicine has a bud of just 14 days and has to be kept in the fridge? That's because water is basically a playground for microbes. These rules are the essential guardrails that fight back against decay.